Step 25 breaks down income by donors. When you entered information of the trial balance, you only entered totals of each category of income. So, for example, you might have entered £10,000 of donations. But the SORP requires you to give details of who gave you the donation. If this was allowed as an area within the trial balance, it would make the trial balance very cumbersome to allow for all the possible combinations. So this step analyzes the income by the details required by the SORP. You will see at the top of the step, it tells you whether there is information still to analyse in this step, or whether the information has been fully analysed already. These figures are picked up from the trial balance and reconcile your analysis to the figures that are in the trial balance. In this particular case, there's £9,000 still to analyse in donations and legacies, but there's nothing to analyse in income from charitable funders. There is detailed guidance and instructions in the step, which we suggest that you read in detail, explaining how you approach this step. However, the principles are quite simple. Below the main body of the step is a working area, and it is in this working area you carry out the analysis. There is a link to each one of the different categories of income. In this case, we've got a total under category 1 still to be analysed of 9,000, and that's 5,000 in donations from individuals and 4,000 in revenue grants from public bodies. In the second section, category 2, we're told that there's no information still to be analysed, so we can ignore that. But it might be in other cases that we do have information in that link to analyse, and you would go to category 2 by clicking that link. But in this case, we're completely looking at category 1. Let's go to donations and gifts from individuals. Now this is only individuals. This is not bodies or organisations. They go into a separate category. But let's assume that Fred Bloggs gave us a donation of £1,500 and it was unrestricted. Put that into the unrestricted column and it reduces the amount still to be analysed down to 500. Let's assume that Joe Smith gave us 500 unrestricted. Put that into the unrestricted column, and we've now analysed all the unrestricted donations under this heading. Let's assume that Bert Bloggs, Fred's brother, gave us £3,000, but this was restricted, so we put that into the restricted column. We now have all the elements of this particular area of the income correctly analysed. These will reflect themselves in the final accounts, so it is essential that these names appear exactly as you want them to appear. We now can go on to the next stage, which is revenue grants from public bodies. Public bodies are precisely defined, so do make sure that you're indicating here the particular source of the public body that is making a donation, not some quasi-public body that doesn't fall within the definition. Let's assume you've got a grant from Essex County Council. And it was unrestricted. Put 4,000 in the unrestricted column, and you've now analysed that amount in full. Remember that this is the name of the donor, not the name of the fund. If this is funding plant and equipment, you would not put plant and equipment fund in there. You'd put Essex County Council. The identification of the funds is done separately in the accounts. So now you've analysed everything. So go back to the donation analysis. Everything there says it's been fully analysed. Nothing more to do. So indicate that you've completed this step. That is the end of this step.